This is Branson's current field. It's bumpy, high desert where grass just won't grow. So how does a town of 50 pay for a $450,000 new field? Well, of course, you ask the internet. This is what it's like outside Ball Arena during a Minnesota Wild Colorado Avs game. It's almost eerily quiet. However, that's about to change. Broncos officially waving the white flag on the 2020 season. Yeah, another loss, this time against the Bills, and Denver now officially eliminated from the playoffs for the 5th straight year. Of course, always a strange morning on the mountain. Once again, race was delayed from the very start, about 2 hours due to icy conditions on the road. Coors Field, downtown Denver, 20th and Blake Street is normally packed. I couldn't be standing here because people would be cheering and screaming. Not the case this year. I like seeing the messages on like social media where it says it's month 9 of March 2020.
It's so true.
When are we getting out of that? Stunning. I mean, we knew it was going to be a close game. It's the state title game for crying out loud, but I don't think we expected a Palmer Ridge defeat of this magnitude. Every week seems to get a little better in 2020. The Broncos forced 3 turnovers last week. Before that, they only forced 2 all year. So it's about building on that and making sure the offense keeps up. The stands here at Dutch Clark Stadium can normally fill up to 15,000 screaming Pueblo football fanatics. Not this year, though, for one of the most intense rivalries in high school football history. Today, 3A state title game between TCA and Rifle came down to the wire. Just like Manitou Springs last night, this game decided by 1 point and 1 major defensive play. Let's get right into it. You miss student sections, I certainly do. They were loud, TCA is having fun, and here's why. 2 minutes in, very first drive, Cade Palmer. You're gonna hear that name a lot this highlight reel. Look at them absorbing tacklers. 27-yard touchdown, 7-0 TCA. Moving the ball pretty easy, pretty early on. Ethan Aragundi, another score, 14-7 Titans at half. But here comes Rifle. No joke, Bears had the ball the entire third quarter. After a 9-minute scoring drive, they recover an onside kick and score again. Then on 4th and 1 in the fourth quarter, this 71-yard score. Bears up 35-26. Embry Maritino, they're starting to taste it. TCA coming back. Here comes Cade Palmer one more time. Had a fantastic afternoon. 3 touchdowns. The Gazette reporting 346 yards. Brings the game within a point. But here's the deciding play. 35-34, just a minute to go. TCA gets the ball back and then immediately gives it away. Palmer is going to think about that for a while. Rifle recovers. The Bears celebrate, get in the Gatorade shower. They come in stun. Number 2 in the land, TCA 35-34. The Titans fall just short.
The Super Bowl is the biggest stage in sports, but I think we can all agree that it's a lot more fun when your hometown team is a part of it. So I locked 11 sports reporter Richie Cozzolino up in a room and told him to come up with Denver's path back to glory.
I have been tasked with figuring out how the Broncos win the Super Bowl again. I've not used PowerPoint since 2008. This should be interesting. Step number 1, you re-sign your good players. Justin Simmons, Cortland Sutton. These are good football players. Pay them, that's what the red arrows indicate. Why would you get rid of Hall of Fame players on your roster? Oh, right. The future. Step number 2, George Payton, the GM. You got to get some free agents. Get some stars. Get Broncos country excited about this place again, right? Make them sparkle. We got more faces. You want to see them? I'm going to put them on the wall for you. Got to spend money to make money. Spend money to make money. All right, step number 3. This is very important for Broncos fans. Stop losing to the Chiefs. You guys are winless against Patrick Mahomes since 2015. Frowny face since the Peyton Manning days. People don't like seeing that. They want to keep the fans happy. Number 4, of course. There was practically nobody in Empower Field this year. I don't know what that's all about. And when they go to other facilities, the fans don't seem to be very pleased with the product. Is it getting a little hot in here? Is it just me? Whew, okay, feeling better. Next up, running back situation. Right here about the running back situation. Philip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon, yeah, they're both great. Put them all together. Let's make Millip Gornsney. Why not? I don't know why he's white. I'm sure he's gonna be a star. Saves him $8 million, right? Oh boy, okay. Deshaun Watson, the free agent signing that everybody wants. Who's better? I don't think there's much of a question, but can the Broncos get this guy? Kareem Jackson, we're hoping for you. Put him in orange, the guy of the future, right? Derek Carr, this Vegas guy, want to go to Broncos country? Why not? There is a solution to this puzzle. We just have to put it together. Okay. It might seem a little crazy, but think about it. Besides Peyton Manning, who's won a playoff game? Right? In conclusion, you're welcome, Broncos country. What was this story about again?
Richie Cozzolino taking it back to the drawing board. Thank you, Richie. Buckle up for another action-packed offseason Broncos country. The league year officially starts next month. The NFL draft is set for the end of April.
In a typical game, basketball players can run 5 miles or more up and down the court. It's a lot of steps that for most of us is second nature. But for CSU Pueblo sophomore Aubrey Robinson, no step, jump, or shot was guaranteed. Last year, a terrible accident off the court threw her career and her life in jeopardy. Now, one incredible comeback later, Aubrey's determined to be an inspiration for others.
I know that I stayed on earth for a reason.
These are Aubrey Robinson's first steps back on the CSU Pueblo court. On the surface, they don't seem significant, and that's because you don't know Aubrey's story.
It was fun. I mean, the school really accepted me with open arms and really made me feel welcome.
A rising star at Sierra High, Aubrey had talent. She was getting noticed by scouts, newspaper reporters, and when it came time to pick a college, she stayed close to home.
She's a good player. That's what it boils down to here. She's a good player. She's skilled. She can play one-on-one, shoot the ball.
Last September, head coach Tommy Johnson was expecting a big year for Aubrey. As fall workouts began, she had one quick vacation planned, a family reunion in North Carolina.
Said, hey, it's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. When you get back, we'll run you a little bit extra, get you in shape, go ahead out there and have some fun with your family. And about a day or so later, we get a call from her mom, and it was pretty chilling.
Last night, it was Sunday night, and we were just hanging out with cousins and stuff. We were just a little too fast. We didn't see the turn to my grandma's house. We ended up hitting the lip in the road and flew across 4 lanes into an embankment.
Aubrey and 3 family members were seriously hurt. The 5th person in the car died.
I couldn't open my eyes initially. You know, that like screaming, screeching kind of voice in your ear. That's what I was hearing for the most part.
She had a lacerated liver, punctured lung, a skull fracture.
I had stretched my sciatic so bad that I didn't have any feeling in my left leg. So I had to learn how to walk again.
But Aubrey survived and immediately had one goal in mind.
Even the day after the accident, I had asked the nurses and stuff if I could get up and walk. They were kind of looking at me like I was crazy. Like, do you understand what happened? You want to, get up and move around.
She did. Aubrey had to relearn to walk every day, pushing herself just a bit more.
I would get to the therapist facility and, they would be like, all right, we're going to go pretty light today. Let's just do about 5 reps. I'll be like, no, let's knock it up to 10. I'm feeling good today.
I'm pretty sure her doctors in Colorado Springs were pushing her to the limit. I think she was going above and beyond what they were asking her to do.
I had a goal now. I knew that, I had to give back 100% just so I could be ready for next year.
15 months after the crash, Aubrey was back on the court.
I was nervous, on the bus, just thinking about it. And when I stepped on the court, the nerves just went away. It was like I really felt comfortable.
Determination, it's Aubrey's fuel. While she appreciates every step, every shot, it's now about showing others there's nothing you can't accomplish.
There were times where I would want to give up, and I was second guessing if this, playing at the higher level was even for me. But I know that I stayed on earth for a reason.
We haven't appreciated how tough her journey has been sometimes because it went so quick. She's back. She's made no excuses. She's working hard in practice. She's the epitome of taking nothing for granted.
There are no fans at CSU Pueblo games, but Aubrey says her family was cheering and screaming at the live stream every time she touched the ball. Aubrey and the Pack are on holiday break. They return to the court January 2nd against Colorado Christian. As Air Force boxers prepare for next week's postseason, there will be a notable absence in the Falcons lineup. Reigning national champion Sean Chives won't get the chance to defend his belt. Instead, his career was cut short, and he'll be spending the next month in and out of hospitals after getting some devastating news. Here's the story of Sean's next fight. What could bring one of the country's best boxers to tears? To understand the emotion from Sean Chives' last fight, you need to go back to one of his first.
Got beat up by one of the guys that's on the team right now, And I remember telling like one of my coaches, I don't want that to ever happen again. What do we got to do?
Sean never stepped into a ring until he arrived at Air Force, but it wasn't long until he was turning heads, especially in his junior year.
He really just caught fire in March and April. Everybody that stepped in the ring with him knew the kind of power he had in his hands, and he was doing a lot of damage.
I mean, that guy, he might have a relatively slight stature, but his hands hit heavy.
Last year, that passion paid off for Sean, a national champ at 132 pounds, etching his name into Falcon history.
It was amazing to have all your energies and all your effort, hard work to finally pay off and get what you wanted in the end.
Sean is an animal. You know, I mean, that guy in the ring, outside of the ring, he's dedicated to his craft. He's dedicated to the craft of his teammates. Completely selfless. He's a model leader.
Fast forward to the 2020 season, Sean, now a senior, ready to defend his belt when life threw a sucker punch.
I slipped, fell, hit my leg on the stairs, and I was in like a tremendous amount of pain. One that I'm not usually used to. I thought nothing of it, said I should be fine, but it just persisted. The pain was still there.
After bouncing between specialists, Sean finally got the news: sarcoma, cancer in the tissue of his leg. Weeks before the postseason, Sean's boxing career was done.
I definitely got frustrated. There were some times where I was asking why, and it was, I think, my mom that kind of had me realize, like, God has a different path for you. Don't ask why. Ask him to open your eyes to see what path, what can I be? Maybe I'm inspiration.
His final fight in the ring at last week's Wing Open. Of course, a victory for Sean and an emotional moment for all.
You react how they react, and Sean was all about strength and embracing this as a fight. So when he comes at it and he's like, I'm ready for a fight, I'm gonna win this one too, that kind of sets the tone for everybody else.
Sean's next fight, chemotherapy. It's one bout he doesn't plan on battling alone.
Love this team so much where it didn't really matter at the end. They had my back, and I will always have theirs.
If anyone's capable of, taking this journey on with a full head of steam and a full heart, it's Sean Chives.
Sean had surgery to remove a tumor in his leg yesterday. He'll start chemo in a couple weeks. His plans after that, he said, graduation, future deployment, and his wedding in October. In studio, Richie Cozzolino, KKTV 11 Sports.